for everybody. Alison Magee Barker, where do I begin? Woo! This lady, when I met her, she said, I don't know if I can afford 20 quid a month to invest in myself. So I said, that's the reason why you bloody do. So let's get on with it. I don't know what you're going to talk about, so I don't want to steal any thunder. But she's absolutely #freaking worth it. She's amazing. And so I'm handing the mic to you, my friend, so you can share your amazingness with all the other lovely, amazing women on this call. Over to you, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Cheryl and Marion, for this amazing opportunity. And thank you to the outstanding WHYs community who have been on a journey, a roller coaster journey for the last year and a half with me. And I am absolutely blown away by the excitement that it's created in me to move such fast track forward into what I'm going to talk about today. So #ChooseToChallenge, helping you fall in love with your uncomfortable action and break through the barriers of your success. Let me take you back to 2017 when I hung up my keys as I said goodbye to my last position as a hotel general manager, shortly after I was made redundant. You see, I'd fulfilled my exit strategy. I was now facing the unknown. What should I do? Should I take another management role in another business? But the answer kept coming back, a definite no. And I struggled to decipher what I wanted to do because I crave work-life balance. I had 2 young children and I crave challenges. I crave success, but what did it all look like now? What was I going to do? What would you have done? I had to work out something pretty soon as I had a family to support, an income to generate. And what kept coming up from colleagues in the industry was, for crying out loud, Alison, why don't you use your own skills, your knowledge, your experiences to help lots of businesses rather than just work in one? Why not go it alone? Start your own business, Alison. That uncomfortable feeling appeared. The butterflies, the knots in my stomach, the feeling of, oh my goodness, the what ifs. The what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I don't make enough money? Have you ever been in that feeling where you can only see and you only feel the negatives? And you're trying to talk yourself out of it every single time? Well, that was me. I was now facing major challenges out of my comfort zone. Don't get me wrong, I have experienced this all before. But in the past, I had a team behind me, and now I was all alone. Have you ever been at a crossroads and not known which direction to take? One sign saying, comfort zone this way, head to safety, working for someone else. And the other sign saying, massive, uncomfortable action, where the road is bumpy, leading to your own business. Independence and quality family time. I had to make that choice. What would be your choice? Answer in the chat below. Here's the thing. What would that massive, uncomfortable action, bumpy road look like? Those rocky tight bumps where the overwhelm of tasks are in my way to getting to the end of my massive, uncomfortable action road, where my quality time with my family and keeping my identity as a female in a business domain I know and love is waiting for me. Then this is where AJ Lakes was born. It was now down to me. I had a business coach who helped me work on my clarity, my focus, my vision and mission. I was spending weeks procrastinating, trying to build a website, getting my logo right, and realised I was just trying to be perfect in every way. But this wasn't helping, as I was starting to feel the financial pressure to get myself out there and start my business. the what ifs appeared again. What if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? And again, what if I don't make enough money to survive? Now come forward with me. It's the 15th of August 2017. I've got my first contract and I'm helping my first client. It's a B&B in Windermere, and I've been recommended by another hospitality colleague to go and help them. I was so grateful, and I decided at the time I would always over-deliver. But what started to happen is the recommendations, the referrals started to fly in. It became a regular thing, and I was loving the feeling of making a massive difference, not just in my clients' businesses, but in their lives also. I was giving them the magic of success by increasing their revenue, profit, standards, whilst helping them achieve a work-life balance, something I massively craved. I was still missing part of the whole jigsaw for myself. Have you ever felt that there was something missing in your life? Your purpose, the why you're here. Pop it in the chat box now. It was 18 months later, in January 2019, when I attended the Life Expo event at Manchester Airport under Concorde, where I was looking for inspiration. I needed to scale up my business. I needed to find a work-life balance. You see, I was doing all this for everybody else, but something was holding me back. And this is when I met Cheryl Chapman. I realised everything she said resonated with me, and I needed to find out more. Here's the thing. I'd always been successful in my career and in my businesses that I've run. I'd continued my professional development throughout my whole life. But I didn't really know much about an area that was completely new to me, and this was personal development, a completely whole different ball game. I joined FindYourWHY as I was missing part of the jigsaw for my whole self. And here's what I did. The amount of learning and uncomfortable action became a norm. I was starting crazy, but I was still had these blocks, and I had this big, massive block that I couldn't seem to shift. And they were my own limiting beliefs. This was eased when I had a RTT session with Cheryl. And then this is when my whole new me came alive and kicking. My hashtag free falling feeling was unleashed. And now I know my purpose and who I am. I'm Alison Magee Barker. I'm a multi-award winner and owner of AJ Lates Consultancy and Training, and I specialise in hospitality and tourism. I'm very well known amongst all my clients for adding 100k onto businesses I work with in 6 months or less. I work with clients who are passionate about their businesses, who are in the same boat as I was. And I have the tools and techniques to help them take the uncomfortable action and break through to the magic of their success. You see, in your comfort zone and constant routine really does dull your senses. Have you ever had a time in your life when you've driven the same route repeatedly, and after a certain number of trips you start tuning out for most of it? You know, like the journey to work where you barely remember what happened after you got in the car. That used to be me. How would you feel if I said to you, if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you might find yourself tuning out much of your life? But when you go out of your way to experience new things, or when you let new things happen to you, your body creates brand new neural pathways that fuel your creative spark and hence enhance your memory. That's why being uncomfortable is something you should embrace. Putting yourself in new and unfamiliar situations, it helps to trigger a unique part of your brain that releases dopamine. That's nature's make you happy chemical. This is now what I've trained my brain to be addicted to. Few people actually enjoy the feeling of being uncomfortable. And I challenge you today to get past that initial feeling of wanting to return to the norm so you can grow and benefit from that discomfort. Now, I'm going to share just 4 top tips with you today that have helped me to overcome and fall in love with uncomfortable action. Top tip number 1, clear your head. The best way to do this is completely different for every single person, but it could take you the form of reading, walking, a good conversation with an old friend, a quiet meditation, or mine is meditation and wild water swimming, something that I challenged myself in January this year to do, and I love it now. Get your ideas onto a mind map or paper so that you can see them and start to live them. Top tip number 2, identify the source of your uncomfortable action. It might be completely evident what the source of your discomfort is, but what you may not be able to immediately recognize is, why do you feel this way? What is it about the situation that triggers your feelings? Are you terrified of rejection from pitching? Are you embarrassed about being on camera for judgment? Are you suffering from imposter syndrome when you're in the same company of your competitors or your peers? I can guarantee that scaling and growing your business is going to be a source of discomfort for all business owners. Change can be a difficult pill to swallow for anyone, especially when the business you started that's been operating just fine and growing organically suddenly needs to change. Sudden change brings discomfort that you never thought would surface. Now, this is really important, and I urge you to write this down. The key is to recognize where it's coming from so you can legitimize it and act accordingly. Now, top tip number 3 is to reflect. Think about another time when something you did brought up similar feelings of discomfort. How did it play out for you? Was it as bad as you imagined it to be? This is your opportunity to celebrate the small wins you previously had. Remind yourself of the growth that came from a previously uncomfortable situation. You see, you're not failing, you're learning. Failure is an asset, and you should learn to see it that way. It's a natural inclination to long for knowledge and answers so you understand how better to run your business and what to avoid. As long as you're learning from your mistakes, then you become more valuable with each and every misstep. Surround yourself with people who are experts in your weak areas. I had a moment last April where everything came crashing down. I couldn't see the wood for the trees. I needed to pivot. I needed to change. And I didn't know how to do it. And I'm very blessed to have worked with Janine Dunn, who helped me digitally pivot my business. I went on a webinar and ended up with 4 big clients because of it. I chose to challenge my uncomfortable action. Now, top tip number 4. This is where Cheryl taught me well. MYA, move your arse. Take action. I'd like you all to stand up right now and take action by shake and then sit down. Many times there's so much you want to do. You may have so many ideas you want to explore that you struggle to take action on any of them. That discomfort, the fear, the uncertainty really paralyzes you. It can show as procrastination or overwhelm. And this is the point where you start listening to those wonderful doubts of yourself and others. You can't do this, you can't do that. And the voice in your head becomes so loud and it breeds the ground for negativity. You see, I let fear and overwhelm stand in my way 10 years ago at not taking action with my innovation idea. when I finally got round to it and thought I was ready, perfect enough to take action, I find that someone else 4 years after my initial idea had put it into action, and now a multimillionaire. So you can imagine what I felt like when I found out what it was like to have wasted all these years procrastinating, letting imposter syndrome, overwhelm take hold of me, that this other person had simply taken action with what was my innovation idea. So what have you missed out on by not taking action? If you feel uncomfortable, then you're ultimately doing something right. But I'll be honest with you, toe dipping outside of your safe space never really gets things moving. You've got to dive in deep, head first, and fully immerse yourself. It might be more stressful, but there's no better way to get the process going. So you move beyond that one thing holding you back. Be selective about who, how, when, and why you're embracing the discomfort of a given situation and how it can benefit you. Ultimately, you have to find the courage, the awareness, and understanding that allows you to see problems and hurdles for what they really are. Opportunities to grow and learn. I now say yes, and I figure out the rest. Speaking publicly, as I'm doing right now, is something I watch from afar in awe. I never ever thought I'd be one of them. However, as you see today, I'm here, I said yes, and I'm speaking to you. A motto I follow and share with you is stuff it, just let's do it. And stop bitching and start pitching. Each day I challenge myself to take uncomfortable action, to get one step closer per day to my goals and objectives. And it's my 50th year this year, so I need to make it count. I want to make it count. And I'm choosing friends, family, and colleagues to challenge themselves on something they may have avoided or not got round to achieving as yet, and I'm going to join them and deliver. So today I choose you. I choose to challenge you to fall in love with your uncomfortable action and break through the barriers of your success. So I want you today and right now to put in the chat box, what will you action and when are you going to fulfill your action? And let's see what difference it makes in your life. Thank you so much for listening. And if you want to follow me, I'm at Alison at ajlakes.com. And I've got a 5-day business implementation challenge coming very soon for people who only want to take massive action. Thank you.
Brilliant. Well done. I just want to thank you, Alison. Thank you. Look at all those amazing comments when you've got a minute. I'm just going to read a couple of comments off Facebook. Go, Mum, you are awesome. You rock. Love you so much. You are amazing. Good luck. You can do this. Whoop, 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 from Sarah. And then later on, she says, where are we? What does she say later on? I love you so much, Mummy, from Sarah. So there's just a couple of extra comments for you as well. Brilliant. I've had the pleasure of seeing your, you were already freaking awesome when I met you. I just don't think that you realised how freaking awesome you were. I want you to read those comments, and take them in and know that they are true. And you're right. Let's just MYA, move your ass. You have certainly moved your tush quite a few times in this last few months that we've known each other, these last few years. Here, there, and everywhere, helping other people, supporting other people. And thank you so much for acknowledging all those other people in the lounge that have helped and supported you as well. Brilliant, Alison. Thank you so much, my lovely.